at home though. But I had a little clear space. I'm not sure if the space gonna be clear or not, but I just wanted to try this. And as I was pulling before I decided to fully jump on, I got Aquarius, Mars, and the fifth house for the astrological energies. And like I did yesterday, I'm gonna do it similar today with pulling out of the emotions and then the numbers to get a problem solving energy. But overall, as I was pulling, I was saying to myself, this is going to be a collective reading, and then Aquarius jumped out. So this is also piggybacking off of the message from yesterday as well, because it was about the collective and how I look at these number cards, for an example, or just period. It's kind of like just reading the energies of whatever scope that we're experiencing, or the being that we may possibly be in, if you want to use a philosophical way of looking at it. But this can also be taken into consideration personally as well, since you're in the world with the collective and micro macro principle, resides. Now, ain't Pluto at Aquarius? I don't have no chart in front of me. Is Pluto in Aquarius? If it's not, I know it's going back and forth between Capricorn and Aquarius. So, um, there could be some like there could be some resist. Well, I'm not gonna go too far off into the message from yesterday because we're not trying to have the same type of message today. But from yesterday, the message was about the resistance with how things usually flow and how they, how you are supposed to assert yourself and what you're used to dealing with the group settings and whatnot. But today, it's different energies. Hopefully, Mars, it came out sideways like this. I did look at the train. I realized that Mars is in Virgo. Yeah, Mars is in Virgo at the moment. And ooh, hold on, y'all. See, I knew I was gonna have absolute peace and quiet. But wait a minute. Okay. Back to what I was saying. Mars being in Virgo right now. And the resistance could be that sometimes Virgo likes to like analyze. It's an earth sign, it's an earth energy. So earth energies tend to like evaluate the proximity and actually build based off of that. But with Mars ain't studying that shit, like, especially with the fifth house and Leo coming around the corner. And and Virgo got a lot to do with health issues and routines, exercising and things like that, and worrying about certain things too much. That could be a hindrance when it comes to the assertion that needs to be taking place throughout the collective, like for you to even be able to swim in the proximity of what's going on in the overall collective, or that somewhat like that ninth dimensional energy, I guess. But not really, because let me take that back. So let's see how we feeling about this though when it comes to these energies, because that's the reason why I didn't want to go deep into the energies from yesterday, because I don't know what's going on today. I don't know the type of attention, the type of people I'm getting attention from today, to be able to already predict and assume that the same shit from yesterday is the same as today, and that's a message in itself when it comes to this energy. I already assume, if you want to assume something, assume that shit ain't gonna be the same necessarily. So you can prepare for what's natural. What always was, just because that's being responsible to a certain degree. But also leave a pocket. Okay, see, look at happiness. Also leave a pocket out of no expectations at all. No matter if it's even dealing with yourself at some point. Like, you do need to have expectations of yourself. If you're gonna have expectations of anything, it would be yourself. But you never know what comes up. And Virgo likes to worry about shit. Virgo could be worried about that bullshit. Damn, what could happen if this happened? When we're that's cool and all, but let's see what happiness is talking about, because it fell. I throwed it right on Mars. And Mars gives that orange energy, that sacral chakra, or even red energy, really, but that fiery type of energy. Leo being the happiness, the sun. Intuition came out. Yeah, you can use your intuition or whatever it is that you got on your mind as far as what you think you're supposed to worry about or think you're supposed to be trying to calculate and shit. You can put a happy type of, I was going to say feather type of energy on it. Something light as a feather because it's a mystery. So if you're going to use your intuition with shit that's a mystery that you know you can't necessarily specifically identify and predict, you can have expectations on how you want to feel about shit, and based off of that, you have a percentage period of, I was going to say grace period, but a little percentage of grace to where things can sway in all possibilities, and you already got juice in that space, so to speak. I didn't mean to pull out another one, but you got protection. Okay, and then I'm really pulling out for Mars, really, because I'm subconsciously throwing these cards right on top of that. But you got protection in the reverse. You feel like that Mars Virgo energy be trying to prepare so that it can protect itself, but that's you not protecting yourself though. It reminds me of a seatbelt, low key. I don't like wearing a seatbelt if I'm driving because I'm not anticipating having no motherfucking wreck. And if I, in my mind, I done programmed that in my mind so deeply to where if I do the opposite, I feel weird, like I could be putting myself in danger. But I do use wisdom and know when to put a seatbelt on. You know, if I'm riding with somebody else or something. But that's a whole nother story. Let's talk about so yesterday was problem solving with the numbers. We're finna more logically understand what it is we're talking about today with the numbers. And I'm finna dip too. I just want to jump on and put some energy out there real quick because I felt like it. Gemini moon still, and I know we ain't gonna go through that for another month. And Leo season around the corner. I'm trying to rev my gears up for that. We got shit going. Oh, yeah. And I be blowing myself when I go live and I don't ever bring up my class. Well, our class. This is a collective class. Me and the ladies, Death of Divine Feminine. Hold on, I think my dog just opened the door. Wait a minute. Okay. Yeah, Death of Divine Feminine, our feminine group, me and a few other females. It's five of us, right? Six of us in all. So it's five other females. Unbeknownst to some of y'all, we hold sessional classes every season. Now, we're not necessarily definite on what moment or week or degree of the season that we hold these classes, but just know we be doing it every month or every season, excuse me. We had one for cancer season, but it was a quite vulnerable class. And just synchronistically, like it, that's why that's why I like to stay on task with things like doing things in order because it creates natural synchronicity. So you don't necessarily have to worry so much because you already know that you're on point with how things flow. But with the synchronicities though, it naturally fell into a vulnerable space, and the class was private somewhat. So it wasn't, we didn't hype it up as much as we usually do. And that was for a reason, unbeknownst to us at the moment. But we are having another class. Sometimes we're going to go live for class, or sometimes we'll actually have a private situation. Depends on the energy that we're in. I think we're going to go live for this Leo class, though. But, no. Anyway, don't worry about that. Scratch that. So, I just want to bring that up though, because yeah, there are people in the world that if you feel like you need to have, which people do, need other people to touch and agree, so to speak, like the Bible says. But let's not go there. It's just that shit is ingrained in my spirit. I've been going. Anyways, that's besides the point. People need other people though. So if you feel like you're at a loss and you know that you know that you are in a space that can come together with other individuals, hey, they're out there, and I'm pointing you the way to a little situation like that right now. Men are welcome as well. Synchronistically, how I feel that things happen since we're staying on point with the cycles and the seasons, and we're noticing and growing and learning and expanding. By default, whoever's not supposed to be there won't be there anyway. I just noticed that always be a thing. But anyways, let's on to the next. Let's get a more logical understanding about like what's going on though when it comes to this, because I gave y'all my perspective, but this is a collective message. So the collective message will give me a message, and it expands enough for other people to resonate, and that's the intention right now that I'm setting when I'm pulling these cards. Okay, 0. It fell out, and it's in its incongruence position. And mind you, this protection was in the reverse, so it's something about that protection that we was hitting on earlier about how you think you could be protecting yourself with these extra concerns, when actually if you know that you're doing what you should be doing and things are in alignment, that's not necessary, and that's an extra weight actually. But if you have hesitancy because you know that you are not, you're kind of in darkness as to what's going on, or the way things started were kind of on some bullshit, or they were kind of wonky, then you do got reason to worry. But then sometimes you just got to go fully through the cycle in order, and it came out like that. So you got to go fully through the cycle in order to rehash the things that you missed and had to fall short in. And sometimes you get a victory in that too. Sometimes it doesn't be that you actually lost, other than the time that you lost. But sometimes that even the time can be accounted for based off the wisdom that was gained and what was learned. So it doesn't necessarily have to be something that was a negative thing that actually was negative. Just like the 0. 0 is not negative, it's neutral, but it's in the reverse that's making it feel like a negative type of energy to me. Plus, I know that it's congruent right here. So if you can expand the way you're visualizing things and how things can maybe unfold, you don't fucking know how things can unfold. Practice trying to change your mind and peeping game on how you actually control the situation for it to unfold a different way. Like practice that, because that's a thing. But if you're not conscious of that, that's what you're doing, you won't gain the cognitive experience. Your mind won't, or your thoughts and the way you can actually see what's going on won't be able to connect with how you feel it in the heart, so to speak. But let's pull out another one. That 0 is in a reverse for a reason. It's already in the space of all possibilities, so it's not like the possibilities of these new ideas coming to you that's going to actually be able to present opportunities that you probably wouldn't expect if you were too caught up into, oh my freaking goodness. Go ahead, the right side. Go ahead, the right side. I'll get my coat. So look, hold on, y'all, hold on. Let me hang this up. Hold up. So we're gonna do. I got look, things popped up, so I'm gonna have to call y'all back. Bye. Hold on, wait before you go anywhere, sir. Look, why you